Hello, class of 2022. This is just a brief video that I decided to make because I realized that your pre-matriculation materials probably look really overwhelming, and I just want to give you my perspective on how I, having kind of approached these kinds of materials before at Rush, would plan to tackle this material. So right now, my screen is showing the Rush Med 2022 workspace. And we're on Wednesday, September 5th, which is, of course, where all of your pre-matriculation materials are housed. And so I'm just going to briefly run through each of the documents that is listed on this page and try and break it down to make it a little less overwhelming. So as I said in my first few videos, this first document is the written version of the instructions for how to take all of the pre-matriculation quizzes that are available to you. And I want to emphasize that if you do nothing else with these pre-matriculation materials, take the quizzes, find out where you're at. Don't panic if they're really hard. Don't panic if you get stuff wrong. You will be fine, I promise. But they should give you a clue as to what kind of things the first couple of days of school are going to be focusing on. So highly recommend that you check that out. So that's the first one. Second is a sign up to make flashcards for a certain section of the pre-matriculation materials. As I'll say in another video, please try it now. Please get a feel for it now, even if you don't think you're going to do it later. Just to say that you've tried it, that it is or is not for you. Do it before you feel stressed out by everything else. Who knows? You might like it, you might not. It's okay. Either way, the sign up is here, and that's the second thing on the board. Okay. So now we get to the actual pre-matriculation materials, and I put immunology and microbiology first. Generally speaking, I'd say I did not put them in order of importance on here. However, I would say that if you study only one thing, it should be immunology and microbiology. And the reason for that is that your very first course, host defense and host response, is all about the immune system and the things that it's trying to fight off. So this material is really going to come back almost immediately, and you're going to need to know the contents of this material. The other thing about it is Dr. Richards, who's your discipline director for immunology and microbiology, is incredibly organized and really, really good at pointing out what's important and what's a little lower yield. And she's actually offered you two formats with which to study. So the first is a written out document, which is the one that I use in my example videos of how to make flashcards and questions. And that video, or that document, has all of the things that you need to know in it, and it also has links to the videos that Dr. Richards has made where she's discussing the exact same information. So you can either read or you can click the link to the video and watch. You do not have to do both. You can, but you don't have to. If you choose to watch the videos and you want to take notes, that's where all of these PowerPoints down below come in. And there's a ton of them. I think there's 8 or 9. And each of them corresponds to one section of that written study guide. And again, it's the exact same information. So you don't have to feel like you need to go through all 9 of these PowerPoints and also the written document. One or the other is fine. All right, so that's microimmuno, and again, I cannot emphasize enough that if you're only going to study one thing this summer, let it be micro and immuno. Next on this list is biochemistry, and if you click on this self-study guide for biochemistry, you'll see that it's about 100 pages long, which seems really, really overwhelming. So to help you navigate that, the second document in here is a link to 6 different Osmosis videos that cover similar material to what is in the study guide that Dr. Sabo wants you to learn before you matriculate on September 5th. Now, I do have to say that the level of detail in the Osmosis videos is not the same level of detail that Dr. Sabo expects or will test you on eventually. So you will probably have to review the pre-matriculation study guide that she's provided. But if you're pressed for time, or if you're looking at it and just saying, oh my gosh, 100 pages of biochemistry, I can't, like, I'm gonna hyperventilate if I try to do this, watch the videos, get an idea, and then go back and look for the additional details. But don't freak out. I'm gonna repeat again, don't panic It's not time to panic yet. There's really no time to panic, but especially now. You're still on summer, you still have time. Breathe, relax, watch the Osmosis videos. Everything's going to be fine. So that's biochemistry. Cell biology and histology. This top document has links to video lectures that Dr. Al Ghul has provided for you. And it also has the written didactic material that goes along with that. So that's another situation where you can kind of watch the lecture or read the material and they're about the same. And then the second document is actually an interactive guide on cellular organelles. So that's actually kind of a more fun thing. It seems kind of long, but it's really not because it's a lot of pictures and you'll get through it really fast. So don't panic on that either. And again, if you've passed the MCAT, which we know you have because you're matriculating into medical school, all of that should be review for you. So I wouldn't expect you to have too much trouble with the cell bio and histo stuff, even though it seems like it's a lot of stuff. Pharmacology is something that you may or may not have a lot of experience with, but luckily Dr. Braddock has provided some really good foundational videos for you. And so there's, as you can see, only one document here. Yay! And on the very first page of that, there's links to all of his videos, and the videos correspond with the slides. So if you want to take notes, you have the slides, but if not, you can just watch the videos, and that's totally cool. I would really highly recommend that you watch pharmacology, probably after micro and immuno. Pharmacology and pathology are the two things that I at least had no experience with whatsoever. So those two are probably good to get your feet wet with and feel like you have at least heard what the discipline directors are expecting you to know by the time you walk in. It's less likely to be reviewed than some of the other stuff. All right, so that being said, pathology. There's a little bit of didactic material. It's only like 4 pages. I know it looks like a kind of big scary document in this preview. And it's really easily written. It's very basic. Dr. Poole actually is one of my class's favorite professors. He's your pathology professor. And he has just done such a great job developing his materials. I think you're really going to enjoy pathology in general once it stops being scary, because at first it's completely overwhelming. Anyways, so first read the document, and then at the end there are links to videos, and the videos go along with these 3 PowerPoints here. So again, you can just watch and listen and make notes on the PowerPoint slides if you want to, but nothing necessary about that. You do what you feel is right. And then finally, the last document in here is for genetics, and this is a 20-page written document, which sounds like a lot, but it's like 90% pictures. So do not panic. I want to repeat to you, do not panic, do not stress out. I would say 60% of this is likely to be review that you just kind of have to remind yourself, oh yeah, I remember what a karyotype is. I totally learned that when I was in undergrad or in my post-bac or studying for the MCAT or whatever, and I'm good now. The other 40% is things that you might want to pay a little more attention to. But again, you have time. So don't stop having fun. Don't stop chilling out. Don't stop spending time with your family. It's not time to be a reclusive medical student yet. Just relax, go through kind of methodically. And if you have any concerns or questions, or if you're just freaking out already, feel free to contact me. Or email any of your professors. They'll all love to hear from you, except they're going to be like, why aren't you having fun during the summer? So that's about all I have. I'm starting to ramble now. I just wanted to tell you, it looks like a lot of material, and it is a lot of material, but most of it is stuff that you'll have been exposed to before, and the stuff that's new should be presented in a way that is not scary, is not overwhelming, and should not destroy the rest of your summer. All right, good luck studying, and again, feel free to contact me with any issues that you may be having.